explained about how you run your agencies to me. All right, so we got a question here, which is, how do I run my agency without being on call 24/7? So I'm Aaron. This is Tom. Between us, we've run a number of agencies, handled and managed hundreds of employees, and dealt with hundreds of clients as well. And we usually get paid on consulting calls to answer questions like this, but we are bringing it to you here on YouTube. So Tom, how do I run my agency without being on call 24/7?
I mean, like, who's dictating this to who, right? Like, your clients or employees are telling you how you're going to work, or you tell them how you're working. Like, that's I would always like think about it this way. Like, clients should know when to message you and when you're not available. And employees should know what to do so they don't need to message you all the time. And the typical phrase I have used is, I'm back on Monday and I will answer it on Monday. If it's a real emergency, go to the emergency room, because this is marketing. We don't have emergencies. On to you, Aaron.
Suddenly a lot of things are explained about how you run your agencies to me. Okay, I have a slightly different take. One, the client side is the easier side to manage of this. Do say exactly what Tom just said, right? A couple of extra things that might help with that. Look, if you live in Asia and you have US clients, you're going to get weird hours. That's unavoidable, right? So go get EU and go get APAC clients instead. That just makes your life a lot easier when they're on the same time zone as you. The other thing you can do is, if you have to have US clients, get team members in the US or EU to cover those hours. Don't be the one staying up talking late at night. The other tactical thing you can do is subtly remind clients that your hours are different from theirs. So one thing that I've always done was be like, hey, I'm just out at dinner. When I get back, I'll take a look at that for you. Because in the client's mind, it's the middle of their workday, but they don't realize it's the middle of your evening. So tactically speaking, with clients, you can manage all that stuff, or you can just use Tom's phrase. That also works too. With team members, I have a slightly different take from Tom, which is suck it up. This is what you signed up for. You want to be an agency owner. You want to make the big bucks. You want to call the shots. You want to be the business founder. This is what you sign up for. If your team member has an emergency that they really cannot handle themselves, doesn't matter if it's 11 p.m. at night. You're the one who has to handle it. It's your business. It's not the employee's business. They can go to sleep and wake up tomorrow, and it's perfectly fine. They still get paid. But can you go to sleep and wake up tomorrow with your agency burning down around you and be okay with that? My argument would be, if you signed up to be an agency owner, you can't really do that.
Yeah, I would disagree. So, like, I barely ever got that from the employees, but when it did happen, it was a really, really simple way to figure out where the company is broken, because you should not have emergencies. Like, it's if it happens often, that's a big issue. But if it happens like once every 6 months, then you're just like, oh, that's a hole we didn't see. We got to plug that up immediately.
So yeah, I agree with Tom in that if it happens, you fix it, you plug it up, it doesn't happen again, right? But what happens is a lot of agency owners don't fix it because they're just like, I don't want to be on call 24/7. I'm just not going to deal with this. And what happens is that subcommunicates to your employees that you don't care. And if they know that you don't care, why do they care? Right? And they start, even if they were great people to begin with, they are going to start shifting their mindsets into, boss doesn't care. Why should I care? I'm just going to get paid as much as I can, do as little work as I can, because obviously he doesn't care about the company. Why should I? And then that's how you lose employees. And that's how your employees start delivering bad quality. And that's how all the problems accelerate.
Yeah. That's the wrong move. No, basically it's like, look, you come in on Monday, right? Because, and you sit everyone down and nobody leaves until this is solved. That's with the employees. But with clients, I typically find that the emergency stuff happens for just like bad fit clients, ones that had bad expectations, just low paying ones. They always like have emergencies and nonsense, right? And to them, I'll be like, just go to the emergency room. Like, we'll deal with this on Monday. You're not in a white glove service. Like, just stop it. But yeah, with employees, but again, I barely ever had this with employees. But when we had issues, we would sit down the next day, when the team's all around, and yeah, no one's leaving until this is fixed. Like that's a very different thing than like ignoring it.
Yeah. So high level clients is the easy one. You just set expectations, and no agency owners that we know are really in the business where if they don't fix it now, the world is going to end. That just doesn't exist. With employees, you need to show that you care enough that you're going to handle it and make sure it never happens again, and balance that with that. Well, yeah, you pretty much just need to show that you care enough so that the employees don't get the wrong idea about how you handle issues in the business.
Yeah. Until next time, subscribe
Until
below.
next one.